Steve Simmons and Danny Austin here, day one of the Grey Cup here in Ottawa. The day began with the coaches' press conference early in the morning, and there was a little bit of action when the Toronto Argonauts arrived at practice for their first practice in Ottawa.
A little bit of action. It was wild. As they were getting off the bus, there were sort of 5 pops, and we're next to the 417, so there's a highway, and most people assumed it was construction. As it turns out, from what I saw, the police, there were 3 SWAT vans that surrounded a car. It sounded like they might have been gunshots, might have been, maybe not actual bullets. We don't know what it was, rubber bullets maybe, but gave the Argos a good scare.
Well, in his normally calm way, Ricky Ray said that he heard some sounds and he was like deciding, what do I get back on the bus or do I just go in for practice? And he just sort of looked around and said, I'm going in for practice, and they came in and they went through their practice. But now they have a story to tell their fans and their friends and everybody coming in to Ottawa for this weekend of Grey Cup between the Stampeders and the Toronto Argonauts. Today the Argos went through their practice, as did the Stampeders. I thought the coaches' press conference this morning, for 2 guys who are reasonably low-key and sometimes a little on the dull side, I thought it was pretty sound news conference for those 2 coaches.
I mean, we're used in Calgary. Dave Dickinson is a smart guy. He's very good with media. We're blessed, to be honest, to have someone who we don't have big confrontations with. But Mark Trestman was excellent today. He spoke about the challenge of coaching millennial players and how it's a whole new generation of athlete, and he has to use different tools. I think that there was a lot of respect between the 2 coaches, and I think you're getting that from the players as well.
I also loved the way Trestman talked about Ricky Ray, how he doesn't have to say anything. He just sort of shows up and everybody gives him respect and they treat him a certain way and he treats them a certain way. And Trestman is really an interesting guy when he opens up the way he opened up today. And when he talked about, like, we've heard the term millennial, we hear it all the time. But when you hear a football player and you're probably trying to do a meeting and you see a guy looking at his phone, coaching, it becomes more difficult and more challenging. And I think that's the first time, and Trestman said, I can't really talk about this. We should have a seminar, a couple of days to discuss what it's like to coach millennials.
Yeah, he's had a full symposium, so maybe that's something to look forward to in the off season. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I think you've got 2 teams that are confident right now. The Stampeders are clearly keeping things a little more low-key than they did last year, following last year's disappointment, obviously, a loss to the Ottawa Red Blacks. But, their high-tempo spirits seem high. Lots of mutual respect.
And I think what you're getting from both teams is there's a certain professionalism here. The Stampeders had to live, and still are living, with that awful defeat of last year. The Argos come from last place and a new GM and a new coach and all kinds of new players, and here they are in unlikely place in the championship game, and the march will continue on to Sunday's Grey Cup. For Danny Austin, I'm Steve Simmons of Post Media here in Ottawa at the Grey Cup.